to the show, everyone. Today is Monday. Again, I got to check my clock. I never know what day of the week it is. Isn't that fun? I'm plugged into the ecosystem. Welcome to the show. If you haven't been here before, I'm Max, and this is the RHMax channel where we do deep dives pretty much all the time, 24/7, 365. It has been lately, at least. I feel like we've been getting a lot of good streams going. So, been excited about PulseChain. So, a ton of them have been about that. Did the validator AMA yesterday, number 4. I have number 5 coming up. Yesterday went really, really well. I really like that stream. I think had a lot of good questions, went over the code. Number 5 is coming up with Gamma DevOps on Wednesday. So 2 days from now. I'm taking tomorrow off. Wednesday coming back with Gamma DevOps, validator AMA number 5, and the Teller Oracle. He wants to talk about that as well. So that should be really cool. So if you're into validating, want to learn more, go watch my previous streams and or tune in. Wednesday should be great. However, today, after much passive and politeful poking from, I got to blame Red Squirrel for this. He's the one that was like, hey, have you heard about Tetra? You know, all this stuff. Again, very politely. It's very nice. I was like, you know, and then eventually I saw Sloth start talking about it too. And I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I have. So I try to, you know, there's so many projects in the ecosystem, a lot of them great that I don't know anything about. I really try to limit my consciousness to just a few specific ones I really think will help the ecosystem, positive feedback loops for the blue chips, such as you know, blue chips being HEX and PulseChain, PulseX, or other things just help, you know, utilities for the ecosystem, Liquid Loans, Power City, Fiat, all that, and maybe Tetra. We're going to learn more about it. So that's why, you know, I don't talk about every project. I don't, you know, really know a lot about 100 different ones. I really just try to focus my attention and try to bring the ones that I see have value and can really help the blue chips, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the blue chips. Everything else is secondary to blue chips, just how it is. But I love my blue chip. I love the what would you call secondary to blue chips? The green chips. I don't know. The money makers, the other money printers, all the Hedron, all the stuff like that. Anyways, we're gonna get into it today. 100% uptime. This is not a weekend stream. I've been kind of doing on the weekday too. This is number 19, which feels good too. Today on the show, you might have heard, we got 2 guests. One of them probably docs through just knowing about Tetra, right? Like if you know Tetra, you've heard of the founder. The other surprise guest, someone I saw has been making a lot of content on YouTube that seems pretty helpful around the ecosystem as well. And also is apparently a community member, Tetra 2. We'll introduce him in a moment. But first, let's get to welcome to welcome to the show, Stu. Tetra, how's it going?
Almost the wrong one there.
I clicked the wrong button. I clicked it. They're right beside each other.
Hi, Max. Thanks for inviting us on. Yeah.
Of course. All right, let me get him in. Nil for T-shares. Welcome to the show. Surprise guest.
Hey, Max. Good to be here.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little. You know, down here, you know, Stu, Nil for T-shares. They sound pretty much the same, right? So it's easy mistake.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thanks for coming on today. I know got about an hour or so. We're gonna dive into it, but first, want to maybe Stu can go first. Just give us a quick intro for people who don't know you, don't know about the project. How'd you get into crypto? How'd you find Richard Hart and the ecosystem? And what made you think about doing Tetra?
Yeah. So I've got into crypto a couple of years ago. I was kind of trader on exchanges and things like that before that, and you know, dabbling a bit. And then a mutual friend of someone that I used to do some work with had sent me some links to like Conrad Zen videos and Richard Hart, and I'm watching the Conrad Zen videos and I'm writing messages to him saying, what is this? Who is this guy? Right. And yeah, started to dig deeper and obviously learn about HEX and everything that was happening. Missed the PulseChain sacrifice. That's no secret. But sort of made up for it in PulseX. And it's been a journey of learning the ways of Richard Hart ever since. So I come from I'm actually a qualified architect, and that then sort of forked into software development. So developed a software tool that was geared towards the construction industry, and we rolled that out across the UK and Europe, and eventually sold out to a US company that were really one of our only competitors. And that's kind of where some of the inspiration for Tetra was drawn from, because pun intended, but it was a tool that was designed to make it easy to, easier for people to be able to put drawings together with information and 3D renders and visualizations and things like that. So it basically took what was normally quite a protracted task that required maybe 2 or 3 different people, and it allowed someone in a sales role that didn't necessarily have the skills to use complicated CAD software or 3D design tools and things like that, to be able to put together drawings that could allow clients to appreciate space much better, and most importantly, give them real lifetime pricing and things like that, right there at that moment in time. So it was a tool that simplified, like I say, a very protracted process. And I took a lot of what I learned with building that and what we did to apply it to ideas that I had for simplifying blockchain interactions and experiences for people, to make it easier for people to transact, to automate strategies. We've seen all of these strategies coming out where, for the liquid loans protocol, and I'm looking at these strategies and I'm thinking to myself, how are people actually physically going to have the time to be able to execute these strategies? Are you going to be sitting in front of your computer there all the time, watching the charts across various different assets? How many strategies are you actually going to run, right? There has to be an easier way to be able to manage that. And that was where the seed of Tetra really came from. And it's kind of snowballed. It's a lot more than that, but that's the core element of what Tetra solves in terms of a problem. But it didn't take us long to realize that the sandbox that we are creating is really has unlimited use case.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a democratizing strategies where they're very complicated and like, nobody's going to do this except a subset of people who are, know about how to do all the complex things. And you're like, hey, what if we build a framework that made this like, hey, you can just do it by participating, in this product like that. And we'll go more into detail about how it works too, but that's just the kind of the ethos I'm getting from it. Very interesting.
That's the overview. Yeah.
Wow. And Neil, for t-shirts, how'd you get into the space, and how'd you find this gentleman up top too?
Okay, so like everybody else, you start off in the centralized exchanges and go through that pain and process, and then eventually I saw a video with Richard Hart and about HEX and stuff, and it was a couple months before PulseChain was announced, and so I was able to get in on that and PulseX and the other stuff. And then there was this project called Reflection that came out. And by happen chance, I saw a tweet. I clicked on it, and I went to the Telegram room, and that's where I met Stu. And he was talking about it, and he and I went back and forth. I was asking technical questions, and then I started running, doing some spreadsheets and numbers on potential volumes and stuff, and how things would work, and how would cash flow, and then that turned into Tetra over time, and then that's where I'm at. Like Stu, I would degree in architecture, and so I own a construction company and design build firm. So that's my professional background, and so I'm good at problem solving, and that's kind of lends itself to me doing these strategies and thinking through all the parameters. And when I read the white papers of these projects, I can come up with the synergies to make these strategies viable. Yeah.
So it sounds like we have like a real world architect in Stu, and sort of a computer network architect in yourself. Is that a fair assessment?
No. I mean, I swing a hammer and build houses.
Oh, okay. So you're also on that side. Okay.
Yeah,
building data centers.
Oh, no. Okay. Not build buildings, but the concepts and things you learn when you problem solve, and I studied architecture too. So I've taken these principles and going through and using that to help build these strategies.
Okay, still awesome. I think definitely a lot of synergy there, and I always appreciate people who build real world stuff too. Like hats off to everyone swinging hammer out there. I think it's awesome. It's there's something about like, okay, magic internet money, amazing, we all love it. But if you look outside and you see a building that wasn't there before, and somebody out there putting the stuff together, and the electrical, the plumbing, the drywall, insulation, everything that goes into it, that is cool. The roofing, it's just, I love construction porn and all that stuff too. So I'm with you.
And the thing is, though, it takes somebody to think about it before they can build it. Like Stu and I, architects,
exactly.
Somebody has to basically build it on paper so somebody can build it in the real world. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Now I think very good stage for why you guys are qualified to even think about this type of project. I'll knock it back to Stu here for a moment too. What is Tetra? Just simply explained. We kind of went through the ethos and how it came about. What is it, and how can people use it, and what problem does it solve, other than kind of the people can use it to architect these things, but I'm still struggling to grasp my head around. Okay, how would you actually do that?
Yeah, sure. So, right, okay. Let me try and think about this. I want to try and use different analogies than what I've used in the past. So Tetra is in essence think of it in the most simplest term. It's an editor, right? It's an editor that allows you to interact with any smart contract on the blockchain. Okay. Now, what happens in the background with Tetra is that we've got an algorithm and some components that we've written that goes to any smart contract that you choose, and it scans that smart contract and it looks at all the different variables and all the different options and the different functions that contract can physically execute on the blockchain. And then what it does is it brings back a whole host of different options that you can use to interact with that contract. Okay. And it does it in such a way where it creates blocks in an editor on a screen. So you can move these blocks around. You can arrange them in any way which you like. And then you say, I want to go and take a look at another smart contract because I want to do something with this smart contract, but then I want to take some of, the coins or whatever, and then I want to go and use them with another smart contract. So you start to build up like a flow. You've seen Neil's flows and Red Squirrel's flows. This is effectively what it's doing. But within each section of that, Tetra is not actually going to look all that different to what these flow diagrams look like, right? Obviously, you're going to be able to edit them in real time. So you basically draw the flows using all these different blocks. But what's actually happening is that when you connect to a smart contract and you say, okay, I want to interact with this smart contract, and what is it you want to do? Okay, so then you tell the system, and you have a multitude of different blocks available for maths, as well as if statements and functions and various other operators that you would want to be able to execute things, right? So a really simple thing to do would be to create a visual limit order. So you could say that I want to go and buy HEX when it reaches this price, and I want to scan it across PortalX, the HEX aggregator, right? And then it goes to find the best possible price, and it goes buys HEX from as many different pools as it possibly can when it reaches that price. And we call that a visual limit order. So that's like one really simple option. And that's going to be the majority of people use that as the initial first step in a strategy, is to actually take their principle, which could be anything they want. It could be Pulse, it could be HEX. If you've already got HEX, you can have that sitting there. But you want to have a trigger. You want to trigger something in the market needs to trigger the next step for you to then for your strategy then to move to the next step in the strategy. That could be price. It could be the volume. It could be a variety of different things. You could even use another indicator from another asset as being a trigger for you to go ahead and move to the next step in a strategy. So we all know how ICOSA is very closely related to HEX, and that there could be some indicators with ICOSA which may say to you, okay, well, I want to get some HEX at this price if the volume and price change of ICOSA is this, right? So it is literally limitless in terms of what it's like. If this, then that. That's basically what it is for blockchain, but done in a very visual way, zero code. You don't need to do any programming whatsoever, and it generates a smart contract for you that goes and executes this stuff when it is told to by decentralized Oracle services.
So when you say limitless too, so I have a security background professionally, and the first thing I think of is, attack surface, limitless. Limitless, good things can happen, maybe limitless bad things as well. How do you deal with the attack surface thing? I think that's some of the criticism around Tetra is, Richard used to bash Ethereum in the old days, saying, it's full of attack surface, Bitcoin's better, all that stuff. What would you say to people who are kind of skeptical around, how are people not going to lose millions of dollars using a system like this? How have you thought about that?
Well, in terms of the security elements, we can come back to that as a separate thing, and maybe Neil could speak a bit about that with some of the stuff that that he and Red Squirrel have been doing from a security standpoint. There are a number of different things that are built into what we call the strategy wallet, which is effectively a smart wallet contract that allows for extra layers of security, and Tetra can be used itself to build even deeper levels of security from a personal standpoint. Okay, so personal security in terms of you own the contract, it's your coins, you can whitelist the tokens that your smart wallet can, your strategy wallet can actually use. You're signing permissions up to a certain level that only allow for the strategy to execute through in its process. So there's a whole bunch of things that are in there from a security standpoint that are additional protection for individual users. As far as Tetra being used as a tool to attack, if that's kind of what you were talking about, is that what you meant?
I can think. I mean, even not even on the exploitation side of it, I was thinking more of, could you do something wrong where you lose your self money? It's kind of like a self-inflicted deal.
Right, right, okay. So, I mean, well, we're definitely going to be educating our users and customers on how to use the protocol, which and one of the key elements of the interface is to make sure that it is easy to use, that people can understand what it is that they're doing, how they're using it, and what it is that's actually happening. So there's going to be a ton of content for people to learn that. If you don't want to do that, then there's going to be other people that create strategies like Neil. These will be upvoted in the community. So you don't even need to create a strategy. You could create a pre-made strategy that you just drag and drop into your strategy wallet and have it run with whatever sort of principles that you want, right? As far as so those are the kind of
I was just gonna say on that, that's a very interesting point where it's kind of like use at your own risk if you develop your own strategies, but hey, these are the ones community has provided with good confidence. We feel like these have been tested. Yes. There's no way, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no way to guarantee that it's going to be bug free 100%, but these are the ones other people are using. It's been tested, and to the best of our ability. Maybe that's a good question too, is are you able to audit these kinds of things? Is there any kind of like way to get more security around that?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So the core elements of the smart contract generation method that utilizes these operators and various different functions and things are going to create standardized smart contracts, right? Now, as part of that is going to be part of our audit process in the future. And the audit firm that we're working with are fully aware of it. We've had many discussions with them on how we're going to approach this, and they're confident that they're going to be able to give us a green check mark on the elements that we provide for people to be able to build out strategies, right? But there is no guarantee, because if we are effectively building a sandbox here, so anybody can use it to create whatever they want. So we need the community. The community needs to be on board in terms of, number one, wanting to use it, which I think that they will want to use it. I've got no doubt about that. But the second part is that there needs to be a general community spirit towards strategies and automations that work, that are vetted, that are that do what they say they're going to do. And if we've got prominent community members that are building those, that are being involved, like Neil, like Red Squirrel, like Crypto Sloth, and more people will come along as well. It almost becomes like people are asking, is this strategy safe to interact with, in the same way that you would ask, is this contract safe to interact with?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to pass it to Neil for a second too, to talk about like, why would people want to use Tetra? Like, how is it going to make them money, for example? If that's the number one question, why is using Tetra going to make them more money than not using Tetra, for example?
Because Tetra will be able to do things in a matter of time, as well as conditions, as Stu pointed out, if then statements and stuff that you cannot possibly do manually, because market conditions may happen when you're not available at your computer. That's the main thing. So when we design these strategies, it's all about what conditions you're placing upon the asset that you're trying to either trade, swap, sell, buy, whatever, or generate yield through different means and methods, like borrowing against liquid loans and the haunted strategy, when you borrow against your collateral and stuff like that. So that strategy alone has like several steps in it that you'll miss out on several key points of borrowing if you're away from your computer. So if Pulse runs up, 20, 30, 40x in a wick, you just missed out, you see, if you're not there. And Tetra can handle this and catch these things as a per block basis of time within the blockchain.
Okay.
So you're getting your time back because it's all automated, and then you can do other concentrate on other things.
All right, but it's not free, right? So how do you? I guess that's a natural next question: is how would people use it? Because I assume there's a token involved of some sort. How does the product actually work, like end to end?
All right. So being a software as a service, it's free to use and to test. It won't cost you anything to test your strategies. If you want to make something up or take an existing strategy and test it with market conditions, try to break it or try to see what kind of yield you get. But once this is implemented, there will be a fee charge by the users based upon the volume of the tokens moved in the strategy. And Stu can answer that a little bit better.
Yeah.
So go first, Stu.
Yeah, no worries. So so within each step within a strategy, there would be a fee for the protocol to automate that step within a fee. Now we've sort of spoke about half of 1%, or decimalized as 0.05, which is a very small amount in terms of the potential returns that people would get and things like that. And if you're setting up a strategy that over time will eventually execute, it's just a case of you waiting for the market conditions to be right. You know what I mean? So I'm sure people are going to be prepared to and happy to pay that in the same way that they would pay for a subscription to Microsoft Office or whatever. But this is a pay-as-you-go service, right? So the fees are really cheap. What was the other part of the question again, Max? Sorry.
Well, I was trying to frame it in a way you could explain end to end. Hey, I want to do the haunted strategy, for example. I want to do that with Tetra. where would I even begin to start doing that? And what would I need to do it? Do I need, token? Yeah. Do I need, something?
Oh, right. That was the other thing. Yeah. Sorry. Let me just quickly answer on that point regarding the token. So you don't need to hold any Tetra tokens at all to be able to utilize the protocol. You just pay your fees in stable coins like you would pay your gas and the gas token. So you hold a bit of stable coin in your strategy wallet. You hold a bit of gas in there, and whatever your principal is, and your stables will pay for your fees, and your gas tokens obviously pay for your gas as well. So as far as that's concerned, you don't need to hold any Tetra tokens, anything like that. And I mean, we don't even need to talk about the token because it's irrelevant to the operational aspect of the protocol as well. So, I've openly said that publicly that the price of Tetra really does not matter. It's if you own a share and you want to stake it, you get some of those fees, and it's really that simple. So
how does it fit in? So if it's not used to use the service, what is the game theory behind the Tetra token? Why does it exist?
It's your share in the protocol. If you want to own a part of the protocol, you can hold some tokens, and if you wish, you can stake them and receive a portion of the yield as a portion to whatever your token holding is. So
and where does the yield come from?
It comes from the fees that the users pay to use the protocol.
So the fees are paid in stablecoin, right?
Correct.
And then how does that process work? How does that mechanic? How does it get from fees being paid in stablecoin to getting paid for holding or staking Tetra?
So the Tetra, if you hold the Tetra token, you simply stake it into the Tetra staking contract, and every so often at a given moment in time, or when a treasury reaches a certain point, then the stable coins that have been collected from the users' fees are put into the pool and distributed among the stakers. So those that stake Tetra receive stable coins as yield perpetually.
Gotcha. And they'll just be like a portal, and you'll be like, oh, I can stake Tetra, and then you can check to see how much yield you've earned.
It's literally just going to be the most simple user interface: stake, unstake, collect. That's it.
So what do you need? So other than just paying the fees in stablecoin, that's what you need to run the strategies in like a SaaS format. And then if you want to earn fees from people paying those fees, you can stake. Do you need to stake the Tetra token or just hold it?
You just need to stake it.
Yeah,
Stake it.
that's
Okay.
it.
So acquire it and stake it. Got it. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm just clicking through a couple of these strategies while we've been talking. Is there maybe we can go through one of these that are interesting, kind of see what this looks like and how it's analogous to what Tetra would be doing? For that.
Okay. Sure. I mean, yeah, just you want to look at this one that Slav has, or this one here?
This one
This
has
is
more
the
colors.
Yeah. All right. So this is
Right.
the arbitration strategy that Red came up with. This is, I think, version 1, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So we were trying to come up with a way to utilize Tetra to arbitrage between these 3 stable coins. And basically you're just using Tetra to automate the buy low, sell high process when each of these break peg, whether it be liquid loans or Power City, or the Coast being kind of the common one because it's always tied to the fiat. So it's kind of its own thing. But the others 2 will fluctuate based upon redemptions in the market and stuff with the asset fluctuations of Pulse and PulseX. And so in this, he's got this automated. So if you put your stables in a pool and then you run the strategy, the strategy is going to basically arb for you with your pooled stable coins when the market conditions meet. And so this is something that would be complicated to do because, I mean, how many times does a stable coin go out of peg during the day? Are you going to be there every time it does? And is it only going to go in your favor? Or what happens when we get a USDC event and we drop like 10%? You're missing out right there. Can you always be there when that happens? And that's what Tetra will do, is allow you to take advantage of this. And these are probably one of the more popular strategies, just because it's stable coins and impermanent loss risk is very low.
It sounds like a lot of strategies are around like arbitrage.
Yeah, it is. It's because it's easy to do. And now when Fiat came out and talked about their stuff, I found out a way, just doing some research, that with the flash loan, we can do an arbitrage using a flash loan in 1 block. So in 10 seconds. Oh yeah. It's pretty amazing, because now we can come with a pooled strategy and take people in Tetra, so everybody can enter into the contract safely, which these contracts can be immutable also. So that's another thing Stu could talk about. But you can enter into a pooled strategy with your stable coins, and then when the conditions meet, your stable coins are used in a pool to take a flash loan out and arb, and then return it back, and then everybody gets their yield proportionally.
So yeah, I think a lot of people, when they hear that, the flash loan and all this stuff they're not familiar with, they think, oh, how could that mess up? Like there's something that's going to go wrong. So you want to talk a little bit more about like the guardrails too? I just want to make sure everyone is clear on the thought and the process and the safeguards, as you will, that are in the system that can that are supposed to stop things from happening that aren't. And again, a lot of these are going to be community blessed and tested and stuff like that too. But just I think when people hear these big words, they're like, how do I not mess this up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, so what we'll do is we will basically say interacting with the fiat and famous protocol with the flash loan, and they will have it set up with their parameters, and you have to, where they work, you pay the gas limit to do it. So if everybody's pooling their resources together, they enter into the flash loan together as a pool and do the arbitrage, which would be programmed in the Tetra contract, you see. So so then when the opportunity happens for the arbitrage event to occur during that block, it basically deploys this smart contract using the funds that are in it, and then it's over. Then the yield is distributed to the owners of the tokens. So the as far as risk and stuff, I mean, it's only going to work just like it would work manually. So there's any extra risk. We're not doing anything you couldn't do manually on the blockchain. We're just automating the process. And so with the pooling and stuff, we can make sure that that's done correctly, so nobody can come in and out. That's locked and it's immutable. That's part of the programming that Tetra will have and allow us to use to make sure that nobody can take advantage of others. So, and it can always be tested too. For people, we can get together, test as a group, and try it out to make sure these things won't be problems.
There was a comment in the. Yeah, I was just going to say quickly. There was a comment in there where Larry O had said it sounds as if Tetra will increase volatility. It's actually, in terms of arbitrage, it's the opposite. It helps to bring health to the system, because if Tetra is used as a widely used as an automation tool for people to arb between the stable coins, it actually helps to bring health to the system and helps to keep those better pegged, which is a good thing for the protocols. It's a good thing for the whole ecosystem, and it's a great thing that if Tetra can provide that service to people, you're actually empowering the whole community to be able to take advantage of the arbitrage opportunity while keeping the system healthy and safe at the same time. So it really is something that can help to bring a lot of people across the whole ecosystem together at all levels.
Very interesting. And some of the products, you see liquid loans in here. You mentioned fiat. What are the products you think in the PulseChain ecosystem that will be taking advantage of this type of stuff? What are the, I guess, easiest ones to work with? You think people will be trying to do different strategies around? Either of you?
Yeah, it's the big names. You get Power C, liquid loans, fiat, then HEX, obviously, because you can then automate your HEX stakes and the ending and the beginning of the hedron, and then all your hedron ICOSA plays and any of the staking you do with those, and then reinvestment of those yields and stuff like that. Then basically anything that anything can be used. That's the thing, it's limitless. So we're just basically automating the blockchain and the usability of blockchain for everyone. So certain ones, like a meme coin, well, you can swing trade a meme coin, stuff like that, and things that have no utility. But we're coming up with ways in our background trying to make it where every token on the blockchain can be used or Tetra could utilize it to have some value and to increase the value by allowing people to participate in whatever token they choose and they like.
Other than arbitrage too, what are some examples of strategies that you could deploy?
Oh, okay. So you could short long just by automatically doing it and using like a Tetra's ability to gather information. You can use a time-weighted average price to make sure those happen at your safe risk level. You can do the leveraging plays if you want. We already talked about flash loans, and then you got things like just basic swapping and limit orders just by acquiring stuff. And then on top of that, as you do these strategies, you earning yield if they're designed correctly, and that yield can be used to DCA into other projects and other things that you really like. So if you really want the blue chips like you're talking about, well, if you want more pulse, well, you could be a validator to get pulse, or you can like run the harness strategy to get more pulse and stuff like that, or PulseX using Power City and their own protocol. Then you have just different ways to utilize the stable coins in the stability pools. I mean, it's endless. I mean, there's no one strategy or one type of strategies. I mean, there's strategies you could never sell. There's strategies you could just try to buy low, sell high, and hit these markers you
can use Tetra to manage your LP positions as well, which is another big thing.
Oh yeah, that's real big. I mean, all right. So let's say there's a DEX that comes over with V3 liquidity because we don't know what PulseX is. Right now. It looks like it's all a V2. Well, Tetra can automatically move your liquidity to be in the concentrated range you want as the price moves. You can be programmed to do that. Now you have to pay gas and stuff to do so, but you can stay within that range that you're comfortable with. It can just move along and follow it, getting you the most fees.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's what because I know a lot of the stuff is around arbitrage or otherwise, but it's kind of just up to whatever protocols and platforms you're interacting with, other smart contracts you're talking to, what they provide, what kind of things you would do manually, as you said. And just to recap on how people can use. So let's say, hey, I want to do the Honda strategy. Just it's the most common, one of the most common ones out there. People think about, okay, here's manually. It's been explained, a bunch of different times how to do it manually. I want to do that with Tetra. Has the platform launched yet?
No.
Okay. Okay. So
we're a little over 50% complete in terms of development. We're going to be launching at the end of the summer, but we'll have a closed beta well before that. Neil's had a sneak preview along with a few other guys of the initial user interface, which is what we're working on at the minute. That's the big chunky work right now, believe it or not, is actually the UI. There's a lot of work to go into that, and yeah, we want, like we said, we want to make it easy for people to use. So that's extra effort for us.
Gotcha. Yeah, no. Okay, so 2 more weeks or the end of summer, and and then once we have the platform, don't need Tetra coin to use it. Only need to pay the fees in stablecoin. You go to the website, you go to the platform. You can, I guess, you connect a wallet. You connect wallet. You tell it.
So yeah, you can. Yeah. So you in the first instance, the first time you come to use Tetra, you will need to generate your first strategy wallet, and you can create as many strategy wallets as you want. So there's a small gas fee associated with that. Once your strategy wallet is operational, then whatever traditional wallet you used to generate that strategy wallet effectively owns that wallet, right? So think of it as being like you're deploying your own smart contract, because that's effectively what it is. So that smart contract needs to be owned by someone or an address, and that would be the deployer's address. So you go to Tetra, you create a strategy wallet, it puts a contract on the blockchain. You have the keys to that wallet, basically. You have the keys to that contract. It's your personal smart contract. Then you can start to build your strategies and deploy that to the blockchain, and effectively that's how it's managed. You can use a hardware wallet. It doesn't matter if you're using MetaMask or internet money or whatever. You can use any wallet to generate, and that's the kind of key part. So the way that then works is that you're effectively signing permissions to allow the strategy to execute. And Red Squirrel's got some of his stuff in the strategy guild, where he's got the what's he call it, the Squirrel Sentinel, which is like it basically holds like the gas outside the strategy wallet, and it's like a whitelisted address that can only send gas to the wallet. So if somebody else was to send gas to the wallet to try and take the tokens within that strategy wallet, then it just basically keeps taking the gas and putting it into one of your whitelist addresses. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So there's loads of things, and it's like we're really only just like scratching the surface of what Tetra is going to be able to do. We're limited by our imagination, and I knew that when we embarked on building this, that it really is truly going to be a sandbox that is going to allow people to do anything that they want to do. And the likes of Neil and the rest of the guys, and there'll be more people in the future that come up with great ideas, great strategies, and great things that Tetra can be used for. And we hope that the community will get behind it and promote the good things that it does. And that's where I think we can see real success across the whole of the ecosystem, just by taking advantage of the tools.
Yeah, I think so far you definitely got a lot of people interested in it and coming up with these strategies, and just excited about automating DeFi and doing it in a safe way too. I think that's the biggest thing for people to get over. But yeah, it's super interesting. I'll look at the chat. I mean, you guys can, if you have something else to bring up as well, but I was going to look at the chat and see what questions we have here too.
Yeah, while you're doing that, something that I mentioned earlier is about pooling your resources. So like the harness strategy only really works to get $20,000 of value if you want it to be safe at 1,000% collateralization rate. Well, if you don't have that kind of money, you can pool your resources together with other people and do it as a pool. So with Tetra, and it's trustless, so you don't have to worry about your friends ripping you off, you say, or these people you don't know. So something else we consider that Tetra will allow us. So things that need lots of volume, like arbitration with stablecoins, you can be able to use more money to really earn more fees efficiently, because you're splitting the gas amongst people. That's
a great point. Yeah, the whole enabling trustless profit opportunities that require significant capital that may not be available to one person or so.
So now we're allowing the people to move like the whales do and earn like they do, you see. So we've empowered the people, and also we basically are stopping the bots from taking advantage of everybody, because now we can have the same speed and accessibility with our automation.
Yeah, you can become a whale with Tetra. Very cool. Fast Abdul, can Tetra be made to automatically harvest Hedron from HEX stakes and stake Hedron for Icosa, then stake Icosa in a loop?
Yep.
And what would if off the top of your head, why would that be a profitable strategy for people listening?
So the profit would be, all right, so you harvest hedron from HEX. So then you stake the hedron glycosa, and then when you, after you get your icosa, you can either buy more HEX and start the process over, and it's automatically, or take profit at that point, or redo the icosa itself to get more icosa and hedron. That would be your choice. But so it automatically does it for you, and you can take your profits at any point along the way based upon your desired levels. You see, and it would do it. Let's say, and it would do it where if you have a whole bunch of HEX stakes and you're trying to manage them, it'll just take care of it for you, because you don't have to worry about keeping a calendar of when each of these stakes ends and which hedron stake ends and which icosa stake ends, because they're all going to be variables on the calendar. And so depending on when you mint your hedron, stuff like that. I did a video on it. If you have a lot of HEX stakes, you know what I'm talking about. It is a pain in the neck to manage this.
Yeah,
manually.
It's that's another question I was going to ask. So where your profit goes to, that goes to your strategy wallet?
Your choice.
How does that work?
You just send your yield and profits to wherever you want. You can go to a cold storage wallet if you want.
Or something you can choose when you set these things up.
Or better yet, when Coast comes online, you can have it set up and go to your bank account through Coast.
Ooh. Hashtag fiat on ramps. That's an interesting idea, actually. Okay. Wow. That is a kind of cool scenario to think about. Like automatically, if that kind of changes passive income in a way too.
Right.
That's interesting. I like that. Let's see. Just scrolling here. Fast Abdul is happy with that answer. Let's see. Yeah, that's a question I had too around how does, you talked a little bit about the HEX, hedron icosa. How does this make, and we have a haunted strategy and all that, but in general, how does this help PulseChain? How does this help PulseX? Are there specific strategies that are interesting for those two outside of maybe PulseX too? I feel like people don't talk about strategy for PulseX a lot. Is there something that you all have thought about for that?
Yeah, we come up with the PulseX. Now that we have the earn protocol, it's the same thing, right? So you're buying it up and accumulating and borrowing against it. So you're locking more and more up in these smart contracts. So now the price goes up because you have less supply, and we're all burning it too, right, on the PulseChain. So now think about this: by manually running a normal blockchain, you're only going to burn so much pulse as fast as people are awake. You're going to click it, right? With all these automations, how much pulse are we going to burn and go through these validators? How much money are they going to earn if you have a lot of volume going through Tetra, doing all these on the blockchain? It's going to push their APY up because now you have a constant stream of automation, making money and moving coins around the network.
Interesting. So yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So validators, how can Tetra help validators? Let's nibble on that for a minute.
Stu, that's true.
Well, there's some elements of this that we probably can't talk about at the minute. It's part of the secret sauce, basically. But there's something supplementary to Tetra that is going to help validators. It's going to help anybody that wants to help decentralize DeFi. But that I'm very tight-lipped about.
Okay, so my APY is going up to 50%.
Don't know.
Okay.
Don't know.
We will find out. We'll find out this summer.
No, it'll be a secondary element to the main protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
The icosa to the hedron launch. All right, that was very exciting. So, scrolling here, you guys. I feel like we covered a lot on that side. I was looking for more questions. Only had a couple. Let me go to my doc here too. No, what else is interesting to talk about? We got maybe a few minutes left. Well, whatever you guys want to talk about. You have ran me out of questions, and Chad is being quiet. So Chad, get your questions in. We only got a few minutes left. But what else is interesting you all want to bring up or gruck on?
I don't know, Neil. Have you got any strategies that you're working on at the minute? You can maybe give a bit of a teaser on.
All right, this is something I've been working on. I'm coming up with a way to allow people to stake NFTs, like just artwork NFTs, zero utility.
Stake a way to stake artwork NFTs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. I'm still working through some of the stuff, but yeah, I've got to come up with a solution to take something that has no value. It's just a JPEG.
One of the cool things. So one of the cool things about Tetra is that it's not just for users. It's not just for customers. Our customers could be other protocols as well. So if you have a protocol that is, like a meme coin, and they wanted to create start to build up a treasury, or they wanted to allow their users to stake their meme coin, they could actually run strategies, approved strategies, safe strategies like arbitrage stuff that's relatively safe, to generate yield in the background. And people could stake their tokens. They could even stake NFTs. They could stake anything, right? To then be entitled to get a portion of that yield. So we can also help to bring extra utility as well as ease of use to other projects that wouldn't require them to go away and build this stuff manually. They could just utilize Tetra. If they were to generate their own strategy wallet that ran all of that stuff, it's possible that they could actually renounce that contract and make the code immutable, and that it runs forever. So we want to be able to put the tools in hands of not just users to take advantage of this stuff, but protocols can actually take advantage of this stuff as well to bring extra yield and utility to their users. So it's across the board.
Yeah, the more big products or other things to create volume, more fees for the stakers, all that stuff. Definitely get that part. So on the NFT thing too, that sounds, let's say you're in the wrong ecosystem if you're looking for monkey JPEG people, but onboarding, I think getting people from other ecosystems to come in and be like, I can stake my used to be $1 million monkey JPEG and I can earn more JPEGs. Have you fleshed that out yet? Or like what kind of yield?
Well, Stu's talked about it'd be more like you have a strategy that would help fund the staking protocol, basically. And so, but doing so for onboarding, what we're trying to do is if we had that as an option, so people who have the monkey JPEGs can come over, and then while they're here, they see Mintra and they see Power City with Pixel Park, like, oh yeah. And so I would think Power City and Pixel Park might say, hey, that's a good idea too. Let's kind of work, you see, because now they have customers coming in, bringing, liquidity over from the Ethereum side or wherever, with their pictures.
I like it with their pictures. Yeah. I need the meme of like them holding the monkey picture and them coming over to PulseChain. That'd be good, pretty good.
Or the free copies they get, right? When they get a free copy too. You see, so I mean, it's limitless. Okay. You got this just ways we're trying to help with onboarding as well, because we want people to come over, and if people see Tetra as a means to take something that had no value and stake it, why not?
That's what I was going to say. All the NFTs on PulseChain. People come over, hey, what am I going to do with them? Well, you can stake your NFTs on PulseChain. That would be super cool. Okay. I like it. Fast Abdul, would it be a ChatGPT plugin for Tetra?
Well, funny you should mention that. No, I'm only kidding.
Phase three.
I have more than enough on my plate right now. We have looked at it. We know it could be possible, but we need to have the foundational framework in place for Tetra in the first instance, and then it's easy to add to it after that. So having AI at a later date, I mean, I would just hate for some noob come along and say, build me a strategy, right? And it does it, and it gets some direct. I mean, it would need to be done in a really responsible way. AI is still in its infancy. As incredible as it is still in its infancy. And anybody that's really used it at great length would be able to tell you that. I mean, it does a huge amount of good things. Automate your automations, I don't know. Is it a step too far? Possibly, I don't know. But if the community want it, then we'll look at it. But as it stands at the minute, we've got no intention to have that as part of our immediate roadmap.
All right, but you'd be interested in onboarding OpenAI to use the protocol if they were interested in that, though, right?
Well, yeah,
that'd be cool.
Exactly.
More volume, the better. Drew Young says, will there be a community forum board where strategies can be shared and easily shared among the community?
Absolutely. Yes. So when the protocol launches, there will be it'll be like a marketplace. I mean, it's not going to, you just go there and you can search via what protocol you want. So you could type in ICOSA, you could type in HEX, and it's going to come up where it'll filter the list of strategies that you want, or you can click into that strategy and find out more about it, what it does. And we hope that the menu of strategies will just continue to build over time. And if a lot of people find a specific strategy really nice, and lots of people start to use it, then a strategy that's going to counteract that is probably going to pop up somewhere along the line as well. So people are going to constantly be jockeying for position. But at the same time, that would be happening if people were doing it manually anyway. So this just kind of really does strap a rocket to everything.
Yeah. Well, speaking of NFTs too, Watsa NFTs. Is there any strategies around Watsas yet that y'all came across or thought about?
Well, you could stake your Watsa, right? Now you're in double yield. What about your NFTs for Power C's core?
How would you stake your Watsas with Tetra?
Through the same, it'd be the same type of strategy. So you have a strategy. See, the way the strategies work, you would basically fund the yield. See, I don't want to give too much away. This is to be determined, but I can work on some of the details. But I got it fleshed out pretty good. So it's possible, that's to say. And also, you'll be able to stake your INC token.
Oh yes, I've been wanting somebody to build on INC, so I'll take it. That's something everyone. I don't know. I've said forever. Why would Richard doesn't make loser tokens? It's not going to be. I've never believed it's going to be the Dump Forever token. I've always thought, hey, there's some plan for this. There's somebody going to build on it. There's going to be some value, regardless of Hart's Law. There's going to be something around it. People are going to want to have it, and I've been waiting for someone to build on it or something to make it easy to build on. So. Well, let me know when. I'm a Watsa connoisseur. Definitely love the Watsas. So they're interested in that. Of course, INC as well. Take one more question here. Fast Abdul got a lot of good questions. Fast. Will Tetra be available on multiple chains for strategies or just the PulseChain?
Yes, it'll be each instance of Tetra will exist on multiple EVM chains. They won't be interoperable directly with each other, but they will be through bridges that are available to do that, as in PortalX and various other DeFi bridge protocols. So you're going to be able to move your stuff around using Tetra, and it can pick it up on the other chains and do something over there as well. So we see it as a potentially good opportunity for bringing fresh capital into PulseChain in the future from Polygon or wherever. So if we can get community engagement over in these other ecosystems that that they might actually see, whoa, wait a minute, there's a lot of cool stuff going on PulseChain, and we could promote some nice strategies to help them join us. So there's loads of things that we can do to use it as onboarding, and obviously just allow people to be able to utilize the tools across multiple different EVM chains. So yeah,
I can't wait until we have so many awesome products on PulseChain that people can't ignore it. They're like, oh, I thought that was a scam thing. It's no, you can't. You got to stop ignoring it once you see all these successful products and all the capital and everything going through.
Well, that's it. And the thing is that people that understand and people that know, they know. And anyone else that comes along late, then they're probably still going to be early. But I think it'll just grow from strength to strength after that. But you're absolutely right. I think personally for me, the thing, not including us, but everybody else that's doing things on PulseChain is really what brings it its strength. The community engagement, everything that's happening, the great products that are being built there. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then we've got guys like the Pulse Police that are reviewing stuff and all these things. The community spirit is just amazing. It's like, what could possibly go wrong? Do you know what I mean? So I think that we're.
Yeah. Don't tip the universe.
let's not go there.
We're good.
But you know what I'm saying. The opportunity is going to be absolutely massive, and I don't think we're far away either. So
don't hold your breath, but also 2 more weeks. Yeah, I know it's wouldn't mid-May be funny if that happened? It's lining up where it's not impossible. Gentlemen, you can talk about launch predictions if you want. Whatever you want to do. Stu first. What do you want to take us out on? Closing words, final thoughts, whatever you want to say.
5th of the 5th at 5:55 p.m.
All right. It's early May, but we'll take it. I like it. Neil for T-shirts. What do you got?
I would say 4 weeks ish, thereabouts. I mean, if it's I just checked this morning and I was messing around and I said, yeah, it's PulseX is fleshed out now. So I mean, really, what's left? As long as the validators are working and everything's in rotation, there's really no reason not to launch. That's kind of how I look at it. But always something to consider, though. Now, everybody talks about predictions of the chain, the ecosystem, the volume, and price action. If you automate a large segment of your volume on the chain, what will do the price of Pulse? How many X's will you get more in a short amount of time?
Well, I think there's a counterpoint there too of what Stu mentioned earlier about the comment about volatility. Volatility is the price we pay for the best performing asset. Mm-hmm. What if it stabilizes? Is that good for the people who like to buy low? I guess that would be the counterpoint to that as well. If 2 or 3 years from now, all these strategies are automated, all the arbitrage opportunities are gone, except for those who participate in the system, all that has interesting effects as well. No, I think either way, I think we're good. 10,000 10,000X
right.
meme is still intact.
Well, the point is, like, imagine the harness strategy, right? Well, you get 1,000 people automating it. How fast does it push the price of Pulse up? You see, versus 1,000 people doing it manually. They're missing out when the whales move and stuff like that. There's those type of things. Now, obviously, you're right. If I come to a point where the amount of traders have less of effect on the system than the automation, but you always have traders. That's just the way you can't fight human nature. No matter if you give people tools, they'll still degen every day.
That's just degen every day. I like that.
That's just it. Now, you'll see them. I mean, they'll do it. They can't help but hit the button to sell on a double.
I want that meme now. I want the degen thing. It's got the button. It's like sell. It's like I can't stop myself. Yeah,
that's it.
There you go.
That's it.
Stu, Neil, where can people find you and learn more about your content and projects?
So the website is a good place to start, tetra.win. And we've got all the links to our socials over there as well. So go and check it out. We've got the Telegram group. We've got, we can probably put some links up. In fact, I mean, if you go to the website, all the links are there anyway. And just come to the Telegram group, come over to Twitter, and any questions. Telegram group's a pretty good place to hang out because that's where most of the guys are. We've got a community strategy group that was set up by Neil and Red Squirrel. So they're talking about strategies and posting ideas in there constantly. So that's a really good place to go and hang out if you're just interested in finding out more about strategies. And then you've got the main Tetra chat, which is just kind of all about how we're progressing and where we're at with things. We obviously just launched the token recently as well. So there's some opportunities there if people are interested, but it's isn't going to preclude anybody from using the protocol. So there's a whole ton of information to go and do your own research. And if you've got any questions, pop into Telegram, let us know. And we've got a great bunch of guys that are very supportive of the project that are more than happy to help. So, yeah.
I've seen it. It is real. There's a lot of people who love Tetra.
Yeah.
Neil, is this correct? Neil for T-shirts on Twitter?
That's it. Yeah. On Twitter, Neil for T-shares. At Work for Crypto on Telegram. I'm in the chats with everybody, and my YouTube channel is Neil for T-shares on YouTube. So people just look that up and find it. I take all the strategies and just do the videos on behalf of Tetra. I'm not in it for the likes or the subscribers. I don't do the channel for that. That's not my point. I did it for the sake of just getting information out, just to help people understand what Tetra is, because eventually I'll have the UI demonstrations so people can see the real product. When that happens, I'm sure I'll get a lot more eyes on it so they can see the thing. And then when beta comes out, we can all play with it. Go from there.
Yeah, I've watched a few of your videos on Tetra and otherwise, and yeah, you do a good job. So I appreciate the content. So it's definitely helped me wrap my head around a lot of different stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen. Chat, appreciate you all. Great questions. And I'll run at an hour. Nice. Everyone, you know what to do. We got all the contact information. Scivive and 5555. We are out.
I take it.